coffee and hot.
Yes, it is very good coffee and hot and needed, very much needed. Good morning, people of Earth. Today is Wednesday, May 4th. May the 4th be with you. 2022, we're still waiting on springtime to arrive here in New York, in America. In America. Anyway, gray, cold, rainy. I know the people in the Southwest say, fuck you, dog. Fuck you, dog. We don't want to hear about your rain because they're dry as a bone. But raining every day, and the forecast says it's going to rain at least through Sunday. Still in the low 50s, still waiting on spring. It's May. Generally, this time of year, the average temperature is like 70. And we're nowhere near that, and it's just it's very depressing, man. It's really hard to keep at least for me. I am seasonally affected. I need sunshine. I need to feel like spring is here, summer's on the way, and it just doesn't feel like that. Anyway, lots of shit still going on in the world. People talking about the leak of the Supreme Court decision here in America, and I am so confused by that diversion. And it definitely is a smokescreen. People being, um, Scott Bradman asked if I ever sleep. I'm sleeping right now. I'm totally asleep at this moment. The people are saying that the Supreme Court thing was leaked, and that's the biggest problem. Why? The decision had already been made. Why does the Supreme Court require secrecy to a decision they've already made? What could possibly be other than political motives to keep things covered up until they feel it's time to let the public know about it? Again, the decision has already been made. It's not like people had leaked a videotape of deliberations going on and arguments going on behind the scenes, any of that stuff. The Supreme Court all of a sudden is acting like a deep state. I hate to say the word deep state because it's a conspiratorial term and I'm not a deep state guy, but they're acting like a deep state organization. No, they require secrecy on a decision they've already made that impacts almost everybody in America in some way or another. Why? What's the big need for secrecy? Can't get a straight answer out of anybody. Well, it's a long-held tradition. Fuck a long-held tradition. What's the big need for secrecy? Why is that the issue? And why are you not talking about the decision, but the leak of the decision? Why is that more important to you? And so people are just up and on. Somebody called it an insurrection yesterday. An insurrection to leak a decision that has already been made. Just pure nonsense. And if you buy into that, you're being yanked around by Now, interestingly enough, a lot of the people on that side are the intellectual dark web assholes, the Eric Weinsteins and the like Jordan Petersons banging that drum. Of course, the Republican Party as well. It just doesn't make sense. The reason it was leaked was obviously to create some division among Americans and start the protests early and people just reacting to the decision. Somebody had some motives that whatever side of the ball they were on. And there's been some conjecture about that, whether it was actually a liberal clerk or a conservative clerk on the court that leaked the thing. They had some motivation to start this insanity that we're seeing on social media. And I haven't seen them as much on Facebook, to be honest with you. Facebook seems to have, I don't know, taken a numb pill when it comes to politics as compared to Twitter. Twitter is on fire. Twitter is on fire with this stuff. So I'm not a big fan of secrecy in government, especially when decisions that have already been made that will impact so many people. Why keep it a secret? The only possible motive for keeping a secret is political motivation. There they are. But here's the problem with that is the Supreme Court is supposed to be non-political. It's supposed to just judge the law and nothing but the law. Have no interest in politics. That's the intent of the Supreme Court. Also, there are 3 judges that have just come on the bench in the last several years. They were Trump appointees, and all 3 of them swore in their confirmation hearings that they would not vote to overturn v. Wade, and then they did. Now, you can't prove that's perjury, that they lied in their confirmation hearings. You can't, because they can just say they changed their mind. But that's such a slippery, fucking slimy move to actually lie. I mean, they did not change their mind. They went in with the intent that, given the chance, the first chance they got, they would overturn Roe v. Wade. Now, whatever side you fall on any of this, there's no doubt that they lied in their attempt to, well, not attempt, they flat out did. They have avoided being declined the seat on the bench by deceiving the Senate confirmation hearing. Bad precedent to set there. Nobody's talking about that. They're talking about the leak. Not very funny stuff, but important stuff to kind of keep your eye on. And again, I started yesterday saying, for a long time now, they've been saying on the issue of abortion, which is what the decision is about. As a man, you don't have a right to an opinion. This should be all up to women. Okay. Um, so I'm not. I agree with that now. I should not have an opinion. I don't have an opinion. But that also means I can't take your side. Keep that in mind. When you tell me I'm not allowed to have an opinion, that means I'm not allowed to agree with you either. I have no opinion. You marginalized me. I can't be an ally for you, no matter what side you're on, because you took my opinion away. So there's that. Scott says, but we all knew they were lying. Yes, we absolutely did. But the fact that it came to light so quickly, it seems to, and again, I'll come back to it can't be proven that it was a lie. So there's nothing you could do about it at this point. You can't say, well, they perjured themselves in the confirmation hearing. They could just say they changed their mind. You can't prove that was a lie, which really sucks, because you're right. We do know, we all knew they were lying then, and we are absolutely certain that they lied now. Politics in America, not a fun place to be. I'm gonna move on from that. But so just the final word is, like, where people are talking about the leak and not the decision. That's a smokescreen, folks. It's like, hey, don't look over there at what's really important. Look over here at this minutia of bullshit that doesn't matter. Again, it was a decision that was already made. Why does the Supreme Court require secrecy on decisions they've already made? They shouldn't, and it's a bullshit precedent if it isn't any precedent at all. They're making decisions that affect the law of the land. There's no reason to keep the decision covered up while you write your explanation of it, because that's what the opinion draft that was leaked. It was an explanation of how they got there, not a very good one, mind you. And of course, it was the first draft. But we don't, don't give me your bullshit explanations. Just come out and say, we made a decision. Here's what it is. We'll be out with the opinion in a month now. We'll publish the opinion on how we got there a month from now, 2 months from now, whenever they planned on doing it. but they should have come right out and said, "We've made a decision versus Roe v. Wade, and we're overturning it. There's nothing wrong with it." And when they didn't do that, either a clerk for one side or the other decided to take things into his or her own hands. That person is not a bad person, in my view. We have too much secrecy in our government. Too much too much of paying people to do things on our behalf, keeping what they're doing on our behalf secret from us. Just too much of that. All right, moving on. Last night, comedians still remain under fire. It's open season on comedians. Now I don't know what the motivation was, but Dave Chappelle was attacked in the final moments of his show at the Hollywood Bowl last night. Now, the headlines are misleading. You're gonna see a lot of headlines today that Dave Chappelle was tackled. No, somebody tried to tackle him. He took a sidestep and ended up throwing the guy down. Chappelle never went down. Wasn't hurt at all. Dave Chappelle, when he left Chappelle's show, kind of a skinny guy, came back a little bit bulked up, and maybe this is why, because he used to joke about that kind of stuff all the time. He had a bit about Pedro Martinez and Don Zimmer. Don Zimmer, Yankees coach who Pedro Martinez threw down. But let's, and I know Yankee fans will get pissed at me about that whole situation, but I think Pedro was absolutely in the right. I don't care how old the guy is. If he's running at you to attack you, and Don Zimmer was no little man. I mean, he was short, but he was not little. He was pretty heavy. He's going to run at you like he's going to tackle you. You have to defend yourself, and that's all Pedro Martinez was doing in that instance, and that's what Chappelle was doing in last night's instance. But Chappelle had made jokes about that, about and he basically saying what I just said, that you know, somebody the size of Don Zimmer, I don't care if he's 80, he's running at you with the intent to hurt you. You got to put him down. You got to sidestep him. I know Pedro Martinez took a lot of abuse for that instance. It's exactly what Chappelle ended up doing last night, but then it got really ugly. And part of the really ugly is on tape because the security team took the guy to the back of the stage in the Hollywood Bowl. But if you know the Hollywood Bowl, it's kind of open and the back of the stage is not hidden. So lots of people with cell phones in the crowd were taping this massive beating of the guy uh, that continued after Chappelle was already safe. The guy deserved the beating, in my view. Sure, I mean, you attack a comedian on stage, you deserve the roughing up that you're gonna get, but they should not have done it in full view of thousands of people with video or phones, because the beating is pretty brutal. And then you see the guy in the ambulance with dislocated shoulder, looked like a broken arm. Now, there's some talk that the guy had a gun and a knife. He certainly didn't have them out when he was attacking Chappelle, so I don't know. Uh, so anyway, uh, breaks on. Yeah, yeah. That Brett Erickson is just saying, commenting on that more like a joke. Security is a joke. The guy tackled himself and broke his own arm. But no, you definitely can see some beating going on, a lot of major beating, like 20 guys beating on one guy in the back of the stage. So there's that. Open season still on comedians. Now there'll be a lot to talk about that and a lot of interest in that for a day or so. I'll be part of the news cycle. What does it mean? What does it mean? Does it mean that is there any connection to what's been going on with cancel culture, or any connection to the Chris Rock nonsense and Will Smith nonsense, whatever? Maybe, maybe not. But it does feel like there's a little bit of an open season on comedians these days. We'll we'll see. Love to hear your take on it. Chat room's open. I could open the phone lines early. Jackie Martling will be with us at 4. At 4. Wow, I'm not going to be here at 4. That's a long show, folks. Jackie Martling will be with us at 10 a.m. today. Jackie's got some shows in Florida we're going to be talking about. We're going to break his balls about why he didn't show up at my Kiara's gig on Saturday night, and how uh, he was outperformed by a guy um, who was doing headstands and handstands, which is Jackie's kind of thing. Why, not so much anymore, but last the first time he came back to the Stern Show, he was doing that to impress those guys that he could still do it. But he was in his 60s then, and he's in his 70s now, and the older you get, those headstands and handstands just not so easy to do anymore, folks. Take it from me. I haven't done one all week. Anyway, so that's that. Oh, of course, the Johnny Depp and Amber Heard stuff is still on. Everybody's just still in, and I don't understand. I mean, with all Hollywood couples and Hollywood bullshit that goes on, why is that? Obviously, the shitting in the bed was kinda, but it was a big story, and people obsessed with it long before the shitting in the bed came out. Shitting in the bed is newsworthy stuff. It's the kind of stuff that gets people talking, no doubt about it. She shits in bed. That's fucking weird. Blamed it on the dog, which is even fucking weirder. But that wasn't what it blew. That story was much too big to begin with even before that. Um Oh, look at this. We got lots of video now of all these uh, Supreme Court justices lying about their intentions about Roe v. Wade. Oh, that's a beautiful thing. Maybe we'll have to play some of these videos at some point, just like one after another, just because these are the Supreme Court. These are the people who wear the robes, and what no matter what side of the political spectrum you fall on, knowing that you're Supreme Court is a bunch of lying motherfuckers. They don't deserve to wear the robes. It's just plain and simple. You're a lying motherfucker. You don't deserve to be Supreme Court justice, a holder of the law and the truth and all that is right. Anyway, they both have psychotic obsessive fans. That's what the call says about the Depp and Heard. Depp Heard. Defamation suit. Um, I don't know. So I guess psychotic. Yeah, I guess psychotic fans. I don't obsessive fans. Listen, if that were the case, we would have been hearing about them all along, even before the the lawsuit started. You didn't hear about Johnny Depp or nobody talked about Amber Heard except for me and Doug Stanhope over the last couple of years since 2016, since the last time they were in court. Um, it's not like people dwell on them the whole time. Maybe you're right about that, but it doesn't feel like that to me. Just seeing the state of the guy that attacked Chappelle, he needs a new arm. um, just not to be too coy about that whole comment I just made. Nobody talked about Amber Heard except for me and Doug Stanhope. Um, when Doug Stanhope was on the Mind Dog TV podcast promoting his book, No Encore for the Donkey. In the book, because the book is about the year 2016, in the book, he mentions the Depp Heard stuff because he was a witness to some of it. And there's a small part of it in the book. And we just talked about that for less than probably 2 minutes in that interview. Somehow, and I think Amber Heard was stalking Stanhope and just like listening to everything he does, and because she had sued him and then had to uh, retract the lawsuit, whatever. because he had written an op-ed in support of Johnny Depp, calling her, whatever, she had a little sonad. And so she was stalking him, I guess, looking for evidence to resue him or something. And so she found my interview with him, and then all of a sudden she started a really weird chain of events of following me on Twitter, unfollowing me, a half hour later, refollowing me again, unfollowing me, refollowing me, unfollowing me. Finally, a few DMs and emails about Doug Stanhope, and I had let him know that that was going on. And then once I let him know that that was going on, curiously, she blocked me, then unblocked me. And then it stopped a couple of days later. Just very weird behavior. Now, that account on Twitter, that account got banned. It was under I was the Rockin' 45's account, the band account that got the band got banned. Anyway, so I don't have access to that. So I don't know if she was still following it, still going back and forth. It was just a few days later that account got in trouble. And so I don't know if she still follows that, or still was or would have been following that, or if that stuff would have still been going on. But so that was my small understanding. She does seem a little bit unstable for, just very weird to have. I hate using the word movie star, and I'm not going to use the word stalking, but doing some really erratic high school girl type behavior towards a guy like me who's a nobody, just because I happen to have had a conversation with Doug Stanhope, 2 minutes of which, 2 minutes or less of which had something to do with something that was 5 years in her past or 4 years in her past at that time. It's very weird. Anyway, the fascination with that case is just mind-boggling. Now, is it all because of the Pirates of the Caribbean movies? Like, was that big? I never saw any of them. Uh, and I like Johnny Depp for reasons that have really nothing to do with his career, because I don't know anything about his career. I mean, I've never followed him as an actor. I don't. So one movie where he played Hunter S. Thompson, and I thought that was pretty good. Oddly enough, I think that's where he met her. She was in that movie. Um, and I liked the movie, but not because I thought Depp was good. It's because I was a Hunter S. Thompson fan. Um, but what I liked, what the one thing that I liked Depp in interviews, like with Letterman and stuff, he seemed like a real down to earth, for the male Hollywood sex symbol type. It seemed like really modest and humble about who he was and down to earth. And then when he did the narration on the Doors documentary, I was like, "Wow, this guy's pretty cool." I didn't know he had that dimension in him, and that kind of, I don't know, deep appreciation for the rock star lifestyle that the Doors and Jim Morrison had led. So, that impressed me about him. Anyway, what else is going on here today? Other than those things, what's anything interesting going on in the world now? Not really. Other than New Mexico, I believe, is still dealing with um, fires, drought, and I don't. That's not looking like it's going to end anytime soon. Which is, and nobody is. The media is not talking about that. Like, Mexico's a major piece of land in the United States. Very small population for the size of the land it is. It's I think roughly, I'd say 2/3 the size of Texas. Maybe not. Maybe half the size of Texas. Still a very big state as far as land goes, but population wise, less than Rhode Island. So it's not many people there, and dare I say, the majority, well, I don't know, majority. There's a significant a portion of the population is non-white. Hispanics, Chicanos, Mexican, Americans. Um, and you can say I'm jumping to conclusions there, but I think that's a big part of the reason why devastation there is not ignored. If it was you know, if it was 80% white state, white people, I think you'd be hearing more about it, about the land being on fire and without water, without 'cause it's a devastating situation out there. But because there are some people who are marginalized, let's not worry about it that much. It's only a lot of brown people out there, right? Forget them; they're not important. If you think I'm wrong, let me know about it. Where I'm wrong about that. But I don't think I'm wrong about that. You like my low voice this morning. It's getting lower every day. It's morning stuff. I got to start. I think I'm going to go back to 9 a.m. It's not like a whole lot of benefit uh, to starting at 8:30. I did it because the Gov stuff. We're on Govs now. You see that little Govs thing over there? Where is it? Right there. That Govs thing right there. We're on podcast, Govs radio, and Knock 'Em Dead Comedy follows us now. I think they are on today. On the website, it says they're only Monday, Tuesday, Thursdays, and Fridays. But then I saw some Tony Walker saying something about it's on every day of the week. So um, that would mean they are on today. Anyway, they start at 11. For some reason, it takes 15 minutes for them to do a switch over. Well, I haven't gotten to the bottom of that. I'm not really going to worry about that, but that means we have to be off of Govs at 10:45, which is why I decided to start the show a half hour earlier, just to kind of make up for the lost time. But I'm not going off the air at 10:45. We're staying on the air on Mind Dog TV and YouTube and Facebook and Twitter and Twitch and VK and all those other dumb networks. Still not on Roku. Still trying to figure out a way around their 24/7 streaming rule. If you do live streams, you're supposed to be doing 24/7. Not necessarily down with that. I don't know how I would do that unless I'm just streaming old content all day long. You know, it's in faux live streaming tape shows. Not interested in that. Of Dykes and Man will be doing a by hemisphere edition of the program today. I'm not really sure. I got to figure out. I think they're doing it at calls in Brazil. Uh, I think they're doing it at 6 o'clock his time. I gotta see if I can figure this out for you folks and let you know. Which would be really late for Jamie. I don't know. I don't know. I just don't know, folks. Let me see the notifications here. Jamie gave me one here. Says today's 6 p.m. UK o'clock. Okay, so that means like 1 o'clock Eastern time, if I have that right. But then that's assuming Jamie has it right, because he rarely has anything right ever in his life. So this is according to Jamie Dykes, it will be at 6 o'clock UK time, which is 1 p.m. Eastern today, of Dykes and Man. It should be an interesting show. Uh, Oddly enough, the description says a lot of nines in there. Number nine, number nine is coming up because of the Supreme Court stuff. Because now this is, and I hate to kind of backtrack into the Supreme Court stuff, but part of the discussion about this Supreme Court stuff is that the Democrats should expand the court because there's nothing in the United States Constitution that says they have to limit to 9 justices. The word 9 doesn't appear unless you're talking about a Ninth Amendment. But no, the word 9 is in relation to the court does not appear at all. Oh, Carl's saying he may have messed up the time. Hold on. He says, I told him yesterday, so hopefully he can hold that knowledge for 4 hours. Um, but what is the real time as far as Eastern time? We're trying to let the people know when they should tune in, Carl. So if you have it right now and you understand, clue us in, man. Clue us in. Yesterday, I was lurking while Carl was giving a dissertation on the Last Rites pod about his I don't want to say incontinence issue, just explosive diarrhea issue. So it is 1 p.m. Eastern today. We just got confirmation of that. So yeah, 1 p.m. Eastern on the Mind Dog Network. You can catch of Dykes and Man, and that should be an interesting show. I'll be lurking in the background again. But as I was just alluding to yesterday, and this is online now. It's a very funny story, but it's a lot of poop. It's an explosive. I want to call it an explosive diarrhea story. And it's on yesterday's edition of Last Rites Pod. And you can find that on YouTube. You can find it on Facebook. I think you might even be able to find it on Twitter under the Last Rites Pod. And you should follow them. Follow the Last Rites Pod on Twitter and subscribe to them on YouTube. Uh, to him, Carl. That the last right is Carl, even though Jamie is a frequent, I guess, guest, not co-host. He's like the most common guest on that show. Anyway, um, people just now on Facebook starting to figure out about Chappelle getting attacked last night. They're always way behind Twitter. I noticed Facebook is like, I don't know. It's like print media compared to the internet. Like Twitter is the internet, and Facebook is like print media. It comes out much later. They get caught up much later. This is an interesting thing. I'm looking at Eddie Pepitone and JB Habisat in a looks like a hansom cab or something, or one of those bicycle cabs, which looks like Mike Shavola is uh, being the driver, the taxi driver of this bike hansom cab, whatever it is. Interesting. I don't know where they are. Um, what else? Oh, last night on Dystopia Tonight, John and Tom had Robert Klein on. Robert Klein is uh I don't want to say this to be disrespectful to him because I'm not. He's a hero to me. I mean, really, comedy inspiration, a musical inspiration, just one of my favorites of all time. So I don't want to sound like I'm being disrespectful. He's the next best. It's gonna sound disrespectful, but he's the best thing to being able to interview George Carlin at this point. He is to me, the keeper of the flame of all time great, inspirational, thoughtful, smart comedy. And a guy who is, he's been everywhere. He's guest hosted the Tonight Show back in the day. I mean, so this is somebody who's and he was one when specials meant something. The word special in comedy actually meant something when he was doing stuff, and he was doing vinyl albums, before many other people were even doing albums at all. Robert Klein is legend, and I even hated to use the word hero because hero to me is something else. But in my mind, I mean, just one of my really somebody I hold in the highest esteem, in not just from the comedy perspective either. His song "The Bronx Is Beautiful," one of the best written songs in my view. Your top 100 songs ever written. It's just a really, it's comedy, but it's also a beautiful melody, beautiful lyrics, and heartfelt, very heartfelt. And there's some laughs in it as well. And so I got to, tweak him a little bit to get him to play a little bit of "I Can't Stop My Leg" from the chat room last night. That was like a highlight for me. But I would uh, highly recommend, if you are a fan of comedy. And listen, he's 80 years old and still sharp as a tack, still looks great, still has the energy. I mean, when they brought up Mind Dog asked him about "Can't Stop My Leg," he had his harp ready and started doing it and was singing it in key and just like ready to go with it. But just like still on top of it and getting ready to go back. Now he's gonna be here in my neighborhood. Um, I didn't get the date, the 22nd, he said, but I don't know what month he meant. Does he mean May? It's going to be at the Suffolk Theater where Mark Farner was just at. And so I'm hoping maybe I could get Robert Klein on, not necessarily here, but maybe my evening program. That would be great. Love to talk to him. But some of his insights, a little bit long-winded, you might expect that from an 80-year-old guy. Ask him a question and he's gonna, so that they started to end the program a good 25 minutes before it actually ended. Like, we're wrapping it up now, but we just have 3 questions for you, and 3 questions ends up being 25 minutes because he's got a lot to say, and he's been around. He's been, television, radio, albums, specials. That he had HBO specials when HBO was the only game in town, and it was really just him and Carlin. Again, it does sound a bit disrespectful for me to characterize it as the next best thing to being able to interview George Carlin, but I think it's pretty accurate. Next best thing, or equal thing to, if Carlin was still alive, to be able to sit down with him. So surprised Rogan hasn't had him on. That's interesting to me. That and we'll have to find out if we can get him on. I know, and John, listen, I'm not really one of these guys who's gonna give it up. If I ask him for Robert Klein's contact, he's gonna get coy. Now I got him Stanhope's contact. I got him Provenza's contact. I got him Inman's contact. I give it up. People ask me, how do I get in touch with as somebody you've had on your show? I'm pretty quick to say, I'll help you out. But I know if I contact John, John right now, if I contact him now and ask him how I get in touch with Robert Klein, it's gonna give me some, "Well, my manager hooked that up and blah blah blah," and just skirt around the issue, and I won't get it. That's not nice. That's not nice. But that's the way he is, and so uh, yeah, it is what it is. You gotta accept that. But it is a one-way street because I'm the other way. I still give people. And Ralphie called me up. He said, "You gotta stop sharing your guests with." Nah, that's low rent to me. For me, it feels like I would be being kind of petty if I didn't share stuff like that. Anyway, so but look that up. That was great conversation. I stuck with it for the full 2 hours. It was uh, really, really um, a compelling interview, and they didn't get to speak all that much, John and Tom. It was mostly Robert Klein giving kind of dissertation answers to stuff. Um, there's that. Waiting on Kiara. Jackie Martling will be with us at 10 a.m. We're going to be talking about Jackie's upcoming. Where is he? Boca Raton this weekend? I don't know. Uh, for some reason, all my texts aren't all coming to one place now. I got a text about where he's going to be. Let's see. Oh no, maybe I don't. I thought I did. This Saturday, May 7th at Millsman Park Central Center, Boca Raton, Florida. That's where he is. And then he told me to blow him. That won't be happening. Um, but why did that not come through on my app so I could share that here? Maybe it did. Um, what did it not? So it's the main theater, 201 West Plaza Real in Boca Raton. It doesn't look like it's quite sold out yet. Lots of, I wouldn't say lots of tickets available, but there's still some seating available for this Saturday night, May 7th at 7:30. If you're in the Boca area, go see Jackie. You know, Jackie's always a great show, good time, and mostly him laughing at his own jokes. Like me, just laughing at that joke. When that wasn't a joke, it was just an observation. But that's what it is. Phone line's open if you want to call 631-496-6464. Um, and other than that, I'm just biding time till the star of the show, the fabulous Kiara, comes in with her happy minute. Now, I'm rehashing some of the stuff you may have heard. Now, again, I keep missing Mike's in. I'm try to call him. Probably at work right now. But I definitely want to talk to him about um, the late night show. Now, the late night show I want to do make clear that everybody knows about this. Monday through Thursday at midnight, so Monday night. Oh, after Monday night, 11:59 p.m. Not Sunday, because that would actually be Monday. The deal with midnight is it's a change of days. So if I say Monday, it's actually Tuesday morning. Monday night is actually Tuesday morning, midnight to 1 a.m. Tuesday morning, ending on 1 a.m. So do it 4 nights a week: Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. But that Thursday show is actually ends Friday morning at 1 a.m. If that makes sense. So it's going to be rough to have a co-host who has even though I'm up for a morning show, the same. I don't require that much sleep. But people who work a day job, a real job, might not be able to accommodate that. But that's what I'm looking to do. And somebody said yesterday, "Why don't you get Kiara?" Well, to have her on, and I would love to have Kiara. 'Cause I think she's great. But to have her on late night and then in the morning, I think, and I'm still struggling. I got rejected yesterday from a sponsor for her portion of the show. And I don't have any problem sharing some of the business stuff that goes on here, but worked for 2 months to get the sponsor on for Kiara's segment of the show. Magic Spoon is a cereal, healthy cereal, and going back and forth with them for 2 months, showing them proof of concept and numbers on the show, and it all looked good, like they were going to finally fully trigger on sponsoring her segment. And then got last night came back, no, we've decided to pass because there's too much profanity on the show. Now, not obviously not her, me. I curse too much. And it's not like I'm fuckity fuck all day long, but I guess the few f bombs and fuckity fucks that I do throw in were enough to lose that opportunity. Do I want to change? Not really. No, I don't think I can change. I don't think to stifle the conversation here, especially from the guests and asking guests to work clean on this. It just goes against the grain of who I am. I mean, I don't insist that we should just sit here and talk about sexual stuff and profanity all the entire program. Um, but I don't want to stifle it either, and I don't want to censor it, and I don't want to have to watch myself. That's what. better about this than terrestrial radio. I would be on some local radio station. I could be on a local radio station, AM radio station, if that's the route I wanna go. Been there, done that. Got myself banned from falling off of that, from making a few mistakes. But so, bottom line is I'm now, back to the drawing board to get some sponsorship to keep Kiera on the program. To me, it's worth it. It's worth the extra work to put in. It's just back writing pitch letters and all that stuff is not what I'm about. I need and I want to expand the show in lots of different ways, especially with doing the evening show. I'm looking for interns who can to fill up some time, go out and shoot some because I do have some access to crazy people locally here, but I want, not necessarily like correspondents like The Daily Show has people who can write and do some funny segments on their own. For this program, still looking for the sports guy. Might have found our sports guy. I'm going to talk to him again after this show today. But also looking for people who do man on the street interviews, um, and that kind of stuff. Question of the day. Go out on the street and get me some phone interviews of people walking by, answering the questions of the day type of things. Lots of kind of interactive stuff like that. And then hopefully still up the game as far as I think on the late night program. I'd like to get some headliner comedians, of course, but I'm looking more towards rock stars and people from the music world, people from the film world, uh, as guests, and being able to say, you know what, here's your chance to uh, ask questions of your, rock star heroes or something. So, and I don't know who those people might be, of course, but we'll see what we get. The more um I'm looking for scary people. I don't mean scary from the horror. I mean people who like Tom Morello from Rage Against the Machine. Somebody who is not at all shy about speaking their mind, telling it, stating their opinions, being confrontational if they have to be. Somebody who might argue with me. Uh, and somebody of that ilk would be, I think, great guest for what I'm looking to do with the evening show. The more outspoken, the more controversial, the more I don't want to say antisocial, but anti-social norms. Uh, the guest would be preferred, and that's the kind of people I'm looking for. Now, timeline for when I want to launch. I want to do it as soon as possible. Already have some things in the works for production of the show, but I can't finalize until I really even know who the guest host is going to be, or if I'm going to stick with one guest host. Now, Shaman Kanapka has made some really good suggestions about how I should move forward with that. It's worth considering. I've had some people reach out to me who have been guests on this program who are interested. And I was just, my first inclination was like, "No, I don't think this is right for you." But Tom said, maybe they work good because of the energy, the contrast of energy between you and them might end up being a good thing. So maybe you should consider it. Tom Kanopka is a wise shaman, and I'm taking his advice under consideration. But we're still not. We'll see where that goes. But that's what I'm looking to do, um, and so that's where we're headed. Anyway, I hope you'll stick with this. It should be interesting to see Jackie in a half hour or so. 40 minutes from now, we were expecting Jackie. Right now, I think maybe it's time for me to take a break and get some fresh coffee. Cold coffee, man. You digging cold coffee? What are you drinking? Oh, that coffee is so good. Cold coffee. Best coffee in the world. And listen, I know Forbes will say it's only the best coffee in the United States, but Forbes always also says that Jerry Seinfeld is the richest comedian who on the planet, and I take exception with that. I don't really necessarily think of uh, well, I think of Seinfeld as a comedian, but I don't think his riches came from his comedian part of it. His riches came from being an actor on a sitcom that he owned. His riches came from being a businessman, so savvy enough to own his own sitcom for syndication. That's where his money came from, not from his dopey little stand-up act. Because if you take this dopey little stand-up act, look at me talking about Jerry Seinfeld like he's not successful, and I am. That's funny. Now that's a funny joke. I don't mean any disrespect. Well, I do mean some disrespect by that. The disrespect I mean is he's not one of the top earning stand-up comedians. Never was, never will be. He's not in the league, Dave Chappelle, as far as stand-up comedy and his earnings from, or Kevin Hart, or any of those people. Not even Larry the Cable Guy. Seinfeld doesn't compete in that. He competes because he had that stupid television show. And Seinfeld became a decent television show. They were a decent, very good show, one of the most beloved shows of all time. Well, no matter how you feel about it, that's a true fact. One of the most beloved shows of all time. But the first 2 seasons sucked. I mean, sucked in a huge way. The writing was terrible. The acting was terrible. Don't take my word for it. All this shit is still on streaming services. You can go watch it for free. Watch the very first season and tell me it didn't. It's a miracle that show made it. And it's even more of a miracle because it was up against Lenny Clark, Lenny Clark was at the top of his game at that time. And Lenny had a series on CBS called Lenny, a sitcom that ran directly against Seinfeld and actually kicked its ass the first year as far as ratings go. Somehow Seinfeld got it together and became it 2.5 years in, became, I guess they improved the writing, production, and all of it. All of it seemed to come together. But for the first year and a half, 2 years, man, it was fucking garbage. And it's amazing to me that it made it. Somebody believed in it. Somebody got behind it. Uh, don't take my word for it. Check it out for yourself. Now, how did I get all? Oh, because I I was talking about Koa being the best coffee in the world. Don't forget my coffee. That's right. I do have to remember my coffee. Thank you, Carl. Anyway, time for me to go get some fresh Koa coffee. I have to get ready to run because I got to make the spot just a little bit longer to give me a few extra seconds to be able to make sure I get my coffee right. But Koa Coffee, get yours. I'll be right back. This episode is brought to you by Koa Coffee. If you are a coffee connoisseur and want to experience the best coffee Hawaii has to offer, no blends, no compromise, try the true taste of aloha. Koa Coffee produces premium Hawaiian coffee, hand-picked, expertly roasted, and delivered from Hawaii to your door with aloha. From award-winning 100% Kona coffee grown on the slopes of the Mauna Loa volcano to the unique mocha beans of Maui, they strive to provide their loyal customers with the best quality and freshness. Since 1997, Koa Coffee has been known far and wide as a product of utmost quality, and their awards prove it. Koa Coffee was featured in Forbes' Top 10 Coffees of the World. This is the coffee Forbes called the best coffee in America. Find out what it's all about. Go to minddogtv.com/coffee. That's right. I just made it back, just in the nick of time. How about that? Rust under the gun. Made a little bit of a mess. Had to clean it up. Anyway, good morning, Kelly and Kat and everybody else in the chat room. And notice, if you will, a couple of people from LinkedIn. None of them are asking me if I want podcast promotion. I think I got it figured out. I went and banned. I figured out how to banned. I figured out how to ban the podcast promoter. That one guy who was coming in every day soliciting, "Sir, do you want podcast promotion?" I sent him packing, and kind of put out a notice that any solicitors would be banned. So don't even bother trying. And I put some nasty, uh, really nasty comebacks in a lot of those emails. Like, I will sue you for harassment, you if you keep on bugging me and ruining my show with, well, now maybe that was the wrong thing to do, because let's face it, my temper tantrums are probably some of the only amusing things on this program, seeing me like kind of lose my mind. That's probably one of the most appealing aspects of the show, is just watching me lose it and become an idiot over something so stupid like that. So maybe I should have allowed it to continue, but it was tweaking me to a point of inconsolability. What can I say? Anyway, so that's what's going on today. I don't know why Pocahontas is trending again, but I'm not sure if it has to do with Elizabeth Warren, or because I'm seeing a lot of stuff with NASA wants naked pictures of humans to space in hope of attracting aliens. That's what we're seeing. Oh, speaking of naked aliens, naked people attracting aliens. Here's one now. We have an alien. What the hell is going on here? Hello, Mr. Alien?
I'm nearly naked.
Could you scroll down? What do you got? You got like a wire on your chin.
It's a really poor attempt at suicide. No, it's headphones.
Oh, I thought you were gonna choke yourself to. Do you always wear sunglasses to bed?
No, I just put them on now because my eyes look pretty bad this morning.
Oh, so I was thinking about you this morning. First of all, I think you must be independently wealthy, because I don't know anybody who takes 2-week vacation to South America and then has another 2-week vacation planned in a couple of months or 6 months, whatever. You just seem, maybe you're secretly independently wealthy. Am I wrong?
No. I've made huge financial mistakes my entire life. This is a treat, and I'll be out here longer, I think, but I'm going to be budgeting. I'm going to be living very, very cheaply soon.
Now, could you stay there and work from there and never have to go back?
I can stay here for a little while. Yeah, I could stay here for a couple of more months for one.
Yo, why don't you? I mean, see, now you're my hero. I want to be you. I want to be single. I want to be in Brazil. I want to be. I want to be free. And you're my hero.
Thank you. Well, this is a long time coming. This has been a life dream, and I wasn't going to do it, but someone convinced me this year that now might be a good time.
Are you getting laid? Are you getting laid like Hugh Hefner? Like constantly all day long? I mean, you just this is actually in between getting laid from one beautiful woman to the next.
Better than Hugh Hefner, because I'm not paying him.
No, I don't think he paid them. He just
well, I think free room and board is payment.
No, I don't even think he had to offer that. All he had to do was give him the illusion that they might get paid, or have free room and board. So basically, it's like, I own the Playboy Mansion, and if you fuck me, maybe you'll get a room eventually. But they never really did. I think that was it. It was like the lure of, here's the payment.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know enough, and that just got creepier as he got older, didn't it? But Kat, yeah, I do look like I'm in a hospital. You're right.
But other than that, you are getting laid constantly by beautiful women all day long. Beautiful Brazilian hotties.
I can't talk about that kind of thing on YouTube in a public forum. Come on.
So are you getting the Brazilian wax deal every day?
No, wax. I could do with a wax. I think around the back. You know,
Wax your balls,
back
don't
and
you?
crack. Yeah.
Because let's face it, manscaping is a difficult thing. Anytime I take a razor down there, I'm always nervous. But waxing would be beautiful. One, and it's gone for months, right? And you're low
Yeah, but
maintenance.
I'm a little scared of it. I have to say, I'm a little scared.
I'd be more scared of the razor.
I waxed part of my leg once, and it was really painful. But I think it's because I didn't. The hairs were long, so maybe I need to shave them down a bit and then wax. I don't know. I don't know how it works.
I don't know how it works either. But I would get good and drunk and let some beautiful Brazilian woman do it to me.
Well, maybe I'll do it for a news piece for the Late Show.
You're not falling in love, are you? No, you're not going to fall in love down there. Don't let that happen to you. Don't let that.
Well, no, that's a while off. I think
You can't.
actual emotion.
Don't let it happen.
All
I
right,
wonder.
sir.
I'm betting Kiera's not awake yet because she's overdue. She's overdue.
She's
late.
normally on time, is she? Or early?
Yep. Yeah, she's probably still sleeping, and that's fine. Let her sleep. She needs a beauty sleep. You know how that is. What is that you're drinking now?
This is acai, guarana, and banana smoothie.
Wow, that's pretty smoothie. Speaking of the devil is in the background. No,
you want to kick me out for half a minute?
I don't want to kick you out. Hold on a second. I want to get to the bottom of this. So now, party wise, you going to clubs every night? You drinking?
I'm drinking, but nothing crazy. Most days it's just a few light beers. I'm not barely getting drunk. The first week when I was with a lot of my friends in the south, we had a few nights, but I'm not going too crazy here. I don't want to lose my senses in Rio. It's not safe.
So what'd you do to end up in the hospital?
In this hospital, AIDS.
Oh, that's actually not as serious as herpes these days. So,
diabetes is more dangerous, I think.
Yeah,
lose your foot.
So seriously, no hallucinogens, no ayahuasca, no DMT.
Not yet. Not yet. I mean, doubt if I stumble upon some ayahuasca at some point, maybe. I haven't really seen any here. I've seen it in Peru before.
I don't think you stumble upon it. You have to just kind of go.
Well, in Peru, I found it at a street market, in a regular market.
Right. Yeah, that's cool.
Just in a Coke bottle as well.
Whoa.
But I didn't get it. We were going to buy it, but we had to fly back down to the coast, and we were a bit worried about taking it on the plane. Turns out it would have been fine.
Wow. So thanks to bottlers of Coca-Cola for all they do in Peru. We appreciate their efforts down there. Well, that's cool stuff. But I think you're my hero. I think I want to live your life now. And give up this ridiculous.
I'm sure reality is going to come and bite me on the ass. But yeah, I'm gonna live it for a bit longer. But I'm gonna have to get stuff done while I'm out here if I stay any longer after this weekend. So.
All right. Well, I'm going to bring in Kiera. You're welcome to hang if you want, but would you like me to take you out of the room because I don't want you ending my program.
I won't touch a thing. No, I can hang. I'll keep quiet.
All right. Hang with us. Good. She wants to see you in bed anyway. I'm told that. So let's bring her. There she is. Good morning.
Good morning.
Have you ever seen Carl in bed before? Tell the truth. You've seen Carl in bed before, haven't you?
Yes.
You have.
It's true. It's true. I've called from bed before, but clothed.
I bet. So when you were working for that phone company, 1-900 number, a Carl would be calling in, FaceTiming quite often, wouldn't he? He was your number one customer.
Yes.
Yes, I know. You're just saying yes. You're just saying yes to
now?
me. I don't know. I have no idea.
That's a little weird.
Yeah, well, I mean, I had to think of a way that you could actually see him in bed. He does look like he's in the hospital.
Is he in the hospital?
He
Maybe.
looks like he's in the hospital, but he's not. But he also, maybe it's just because of the colors of the light or something. He looks like he's wearing lipstick.
Well, let me see.
Well, I'm drinking a purple smoothie, so maybe that's
All right. Maybe yeah, it's a purple smoothie. So you got like purple
Mm.
lipstick on or something. It's a kind of a cool look, and your hair is growing in. You're getting all like long haired.
long hair. I cut it 3 times.
Yeah. Well, no, but not like you're getting a fro, kind of a fro. So, Kiara, did you oversleep this morning? You did. You slept a little late, didn't you?
I did.
Good for you.
I was up really late though.
Really? Somebody said, Mike Chavola said, I should have you as the co-host for the late night show, but I didn't want to overextend you. And as you know, we're still struggling to get the sponsorship for this program. But I didn't think you were actually going to be up late. But if you're up late, I'd love to have you on the late night show. I don't know. And you could choose whether if late night if this is too much and doing both is too much, you could choose either or. But I'll leave that up to you. But I would definitely love to have you on the late night show. I think, well, you're the best part of the show. You're the only reason people tune in. They don't tune in to see me.
So nice. Hold on, let me give you a big yawn. Good morning, America and Russia.
Shitcat said he still has lipstick on from last night. You know, he's scoring lots of Brazilian women. He's down in Brazil right now. He's not in the UK. He's in Brazil.
Wow.
He's kind of hot. Don't you think Carl's kind of hot?
Yeah, so hot. Oh, wow.
Oh, I didn't. Oh, so you're not in a hospital. You're in like some kind of apartment. Like that's not just a hotel room. You're like, you got a thing going on.
No, this is a hotel room, but it's pretty big. Yeah, I've stayed in some nice places. This was pretty cheap.
See, now, if I were in Brazil, I think I'd be staying in.
Cut it out.
Yeah, cut it out. I'd be staying on the beach in a tent, I think, if I were you.
A beach?
I'm probably going to get an apartment next week.
Oh, wow. Look at you. God, I want to be you.
No. It's all a facade. Outside of this box, it's all one big catastrophic failure.
I'm fine with the whole. Listen, nobody knows facade better than me. I'm just a cardboard cutout of myself. Actually, I don't really exist. But if I could be that in Brazil with all these beautiful women and free love, free sex, free everything, that's what I want.
Wow,
that's the way I want to die. I want to die on a beach with 12 beautiful Brazilian women. Fanning me and giving me Corona beer.
All right. Okay.
That's a fair goal in life, isn't it?
I mean, so do it. Live your dream. Live your life.
So I have your permission to go be Carl.
You don't have my permission. You have to ask your wife.
She doesn't even know I exist.
Oh man.
She doesn't even know.
What a depressing.
Well, speaking of depressing, this is depressing, isn't it? Is it not living on Long Island in May, and you look out the window and every day it's just gray and wet and not spring yet. Yeah. You know, we have it for another 5 days at least.
If I could get off the island, I would get off the island today.
I think Gilligan said that. Didn't Gilligan say that? That's a Gilligan quote.
Gilligan liked his island.
He did.
That's the only place he got attention. Poor little thing.
Yeah. Sugar Cat says Carl must be loaded. She says she agrees with me. Carl must be loaded, and by loaded she doesn't mean drunk. She means money. Carl Hefner. Nope. Carl Hefner. That's what we're going to call him from now on. So do you have
temporarily rich? Sorry.
Do you have anything happy other than the weather is just not? Look, you're even a little dark in your little apartment there today. It's a little.
My spider plant. He's blocking the view. He's really big, and I have to move him to get the light. Should I do that? I'll just do that.
No.
Let me move him. Hold on.
You don't have to do things.
Oh my gosh, he's heavy.
There's no reason to ever do things.
How's that? Is that better?
That's beautiful.
No, that's
Just wonderful.
He's huge. He's like that big.
Oh, that's like Mikey size.
Yeah, he's like a Mikey size plant. I bought him like that. I didn't grow him like that. I cheated.
Oh.
I went to the nursery and I was like, that one. So I could tell everyone.
Such good coffee. I'm telling you, cold coffee. Cold coffee is like, it's like magic in a cup. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, but it was so good. It was just, it caught me off guard about how just unbelievably delicious that coffee is. It's amazing. And I'm not saying that just because they're a sponsor, and I hope people go buy them. Really, I mean, authentically amazing coffee.
The advert said everyone's talking about it.
Yeah. Every time I see your face, I taste coffee. You programmed it into my mind. Coffee.
Carl, is there good coffee in Brazil, or you're not really partaking?
Can I make an admission? I've not had coffee in 10 days.
Wow.
Wild.
Wow.
And not because I don't have any choice, but I don't really go to breakfast, so I don't really see it when I'm wandering around. But they have really good coffee in Brazil.
Breakfast is the best part of being on vacation. You go to breakfast in the morning, and it's like you get this amazing coffee and these hot Brazilian girls with all their tops falling off, bringing you a bacon.
Wait, you're really in Brazil? I didn't know.
I'm in Brazil, yeah. I'm really in Brazil.
Oh my goodness!
It's not very Brazilian looking here, but
and he's been there for 2 weeks, and he doesn't plan on going home anytime in the near future. Is that nice?
Is that nice?
Wouldn't you love that life? This is why I want to be Carl. Don't you understand? Carl's not going home.
Oh
I don't want to go home. I'm home, and I don't want to go home. If I was
I'm
there,
I'm going to be paying for these terrible decisions for a while, though. So
listen, you can't plan for the future.
Sorry.
You can't plan for the future. You could be dead tomorrow, so you just enjoy your time in Brazil and just dig it. Right now, you're living the life of Riley or Hefner.
I'm having
Don't listen to him.
Exactly.
Man, I need to.
So what should I do? Shall I go home?
No.
I don't know the backstory. I can't give advice. I have to know everything to give you the
here's the backstory. He's in Brazil. He's laying on the beach. He's got beautiful Brazilian women coming, bringing him alcohol and just like licking his feet.
Yeah.
So I mean, he's got it made. I want to be Carl. I want to be Carl. Better to be Carl than to be Dave Chappelle. That's all I have to say about that. Because nobody's
when I come to Long Island, let's life swap for a day. I'll live your life. You can.
Well, on Long Island, who wants to be you if you're on Long Island? Long Island sucks. Who the hell wants to be anybody on Long Island? I don't even want to be me. True. I don't want to be you. I don't want to be her. I don't even want to be here. I want to be dead.
On Long Island.
Well, that's a turn.
I want to be Dave Chappelle. I want to get tackled by some lunatic.
Phenomenal. I've just seen the video. Yeah, he got attacked on stage. Really? I've just seen the video of the guy being put in an ambulance.
Yeah. So
wait,
the headline is Chappelle gets tackled by a guy, but the guy didn't tackle Chappelle. Chappelle sidestepped him, and he went down, and then security busted him up.
Can you share the video?
I think I can.
I want to see.
The guy's entire arm is on backwards. It's from the shoulder down. Because sometimes you see it from the elbow, but this is from the top. The whole thing seemed to be twisted.
Yeah, here it is.
Why do they tackle him? Go ahead.
Give me a second here. I'll share.
I'm a little allergy-y today.
Oh, I can't. I gotta share and then blow it up. So here we go. Share screen, Chrome tab, Twitter, Chris Rock. Why does it say Chris Rock Twitter when it's Dave Chappelle? I don't know. Oh, it's on Chris Rock shared this. That's funny.
Mystery.
Oh, it's so fast.
Oh yeah, it is short. I thought this was the whole thing. It's not the whole thing. So it's just overplaying that. Let me see. There's a guy's busting him up. Can you see this? Are you seeing this right now?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, Chappelle goes round in a crew of about 15 anyway, so that's his friends plus personal security plus venue security, probably having a stump.
These are all the long shots of it. Wow, somebody's shooting it from the balcony. But there's better. Oh, this is the guy in the ambulance that Carlos was talking about.
Hey, back up, back up.
But they're not showing the scene of his arm being like actually backwards.
Yeah, there's a pic. I think it must be a cell phone from the other side.
Hey, get back! Everyone get back!
Everyone get back! Everyone get back! Because he might attack again. Where's the good ones? I saw all the. I guess they took them down. There were lots of. There's the attack video, but no, that's all they show. Is the guy missing him? Really, he sidestepped the guy, and the guy went down.
Wow.
Anyway, so he got attacked on stage last night, and now it's open season on comedians. So I think they're all. If I were doing stand up, I would definitely bring a weapon on stage with me, like some kind of
baseball bat.
Well, the microphone is a weapon, but it's not.
You don't want
the mic stand is a weapon.
The mic stand is the first line of defense. You don't want to break the mic, but that's also a good club.
Well, you could do a Roger Daltrey thing. You take it by the wire and like moonchuck it.
You know, when I worked at TJ Maxx, this reminds me. It was really funny, actually. My first day was training in case an active shooter came in, and they have the video of the TJ Maxx employee. The active shooter comes in. TJ Maxx employee, he's crouched in the aisle. And they're like, if the active shooter comes your way, use anything in the aisle. And she picks up like a Yankee candle, and she smashes the guy with that. I don't know. I thought it was really funny. Sorry, it just reminded me of that.
Active shooters in TJ Maxx, eh? Wow.
Active shooters. You know, I worked in the Farmingdale one, and we had every kind of crackhead, heroin addict, homeless person. They would come in and sleep on the display furniture at night. It was just a weird.
Was this in the airport plaza there?
In the airport plaza, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Wow, you wouldn't think of it that because that's where my radio station. I never actually worked there. They moved there right after I got banned from the radio station, but that's where they're located now. Yeah, and that seemed like a pretty safe place.
Yeah, and I worked at the.
Yeah, I was on 1440 AM WNYG, and then that became B103 AM and FM, and that's what I think I'm not sure if they're still the B. It's still at 103.4, 103 point something.
I never heard of them, so well.
Well, yeah, they were oldies, and oldies then were real oldies. Like, oh, by the way, that barmaid the other night, the most impressive thing was you singing Jailhouse Rock. Speaking of oldies, she said that was the highlight of her night, is you doing Jailhouse Rock.
The bar lady? Oh,
yeah.
Here we go, number 2.
Number 2? That's Carl's thing. Carl's a number 2 guy.
Oh, I just love it. I love it. I love inhaling plant tree semen. That's what it is. I'm allergic to plant semen.
You could be inhaling Carl's explosive diarrhea on the sidewalk. So.
Oh no! Do you have dysentery from the water?
Not now. No, he shared a story from several years ago yesterday on his podcast about having to drop trow in public.
I've had a gluten intolerance my entire life, and apparently I've recently found out it's genetic, and most of my family have it, but no one told me. And
what is gluten really? What is it?
I don't know. Gooey shit inside flour and wheat. I don't know.
There
Right.
is no gluten. Koa coffee is absolutely 100% gluten free. I just want to say that. But his other problem is not this intestinal intolerance to gluten or whatever, bread, whatever he's got going on there. But he's also a walker. So being a walker and a guy who likes to walk great distances, at some point that urge to just drop trow and have explosive diarrhea can hit you in the middle of a walk, and there's no place around, so you have to do it in public. I don't want to spoil his whole story, but that's basically.
And then you cry. There are several more stories. Don't worry about that. This happened more than once.
Sounds like
Did you ever poop in public, Kira? Like in public, not like a public bathroom, in public.
I am not a public pooper person. I will hold it all day and bloat just to get home.
Phenomenal.
I don't think that was an option in Carl's case. It was like explosive.
If there's no option, I have used the public bathroom when there was no other option. I was very proud of myself, but not in public. I have not yet defecated in front of hundreds of people.
Yeah, I don't think I have either.
But I do aspire to. One day I will live up to
Well,
that.
presumably,
really rack my memory. Go ahead.
You don't eat like an animal and also stuff that you know is bad for you for about another 10 years after you know it's bad for you. That's my problem. I'm like,
no, I do.
Okay.
She does.
They told me I went to go get a panel done because I have like these allergies, and they told me I was allergic to gluten. I was allergic to egg whites, cheese, codfish, and I was like, oh well.
And she eats the dinner at Gochadoro, which is like
I had pasta last night. Yeah. Oh well.
Yeah, I love pizza too much to give it up. So once in a while.
And the gluten-free stuff tastes disgusting.
Yeah.
I tried all that.
Sure.
So no.
I have to have gluten-free bread if I have bread, and it's gross. It's dry. It's just like eating leaves.
Yeah, it's disgusting.
Well, I've eaten leaves. I have to say, I actually.
Like on a salad.
Yeah, salads, and I tried being a vegetarian twice in my life. What
was her name?
My mother screwed up my vegetarianism because I would take my son to visit grandma on Sunday, and that's a bad day to bring your son to visit your mother if you want to stay vegetarian, because sauce and meatballs and
the brajol and the sauce and
exactly
all that stuff. Yeah, that's too good to give up.
Very risky. So do you have a happy story for us or no?
Yeah, I actually reminded myself. I have to send you for next segment the video clip of our next story.
Oh, is it Dave Chappelle? I could use a good video of Dave Chappelle.
I didn't even know about that. That's crazy. I like Dave Chappelle. I loved him in Men in Tights, which you've never seen, but whatever. Have you seen Men in Tights? Carl?
Not the movie, but I have seen Men in Tights.
Yeah. I love it. I've not seen it for a long time, but I need to rewatch it. It's great.
Yeah. Did you say Abe Lincoln? No, I said Abe Lincoln. Sorry.
If you want to,
I'll just leave now.
If you want girls to watch your television show, you should have all your characters have English accents, according to Brendan Walsh.
Okay. Wait, what? I missed that.
Brendan Walsh says that if you want people to watch your television show, all your characters should have English accents.
Do we know Brendan Walsh?
Yes, I know Brendan Walsh. You don't know Brendan Walsh.
All right.
Paul knows Brendan Walsh.
So
and there's somebody in the background. There's somebody in the apartment.
I just walked straight into a TV.
Oh. There's somebody in the background, Carl, stalking you. We saw a stranger.
And I've got to be careful of any reflections. Yeah.
That was a reflection of your ass that we saw. I'm going to have to go back and review the tape. All right. I'm sorry. We didn't mean to interrupt this happy news story that with all this silliness.
I'm trying to figure out what that is.
That's like a ceiling.
So Carl's completely naked? Oh, wow.
Not completely, like 90%.
Oh, my gosh. I don't even want to know what that means.
We did see his ass with a watermelon hanging out of it.
All right, let me read this. This is from Good News Network.
Good news. Well, that's good news.
Sometimes you make me laugh, Matt. Okay. This is No Mo May. No Mo May.
No money.
No
No
Mo
money.
May.
No money. I got no money.
No Mo May gives you a reason to not mow the lawn. Leave the bees weeds to feed the bees. Wow, that's a mouthful. Sorry. Backyard bee conservation is all the buzz these days, with people planting native pollinator gardens. Sorry, just thinking about watermelons. Installing bee houses and participating in citizen science endeavors to monitor local bee populations. In other words, don't mow your lawn. Let the bees pollinate and do what they got to do.
Well, there's good bees and bad bees, you know. Honey
yeah,
bees
we're not talking about hornets.
Yeah, but honeybees are the ones that are on the decline that are really important, and I think there's like a worldwide decline in them. That's been going on for at least 15 years that I know of. So I'm surprised that it's still an issue. I thought we had solved that issue, but it was in the news again just the other day about the world needs more honeybees because they were losing food supply because they're not pollinating food, agriculture.
What the world needs now
is bees.
Bees.
Honeybees.
Bees. I don't think I've seen a honeybee in a while. Actually, that's not true. Actually, no, it was a bumblebee. I saw a bumblebee.
Well, can you identify your bees? Because I'm pretty good at identifying bees, like the difference between a bumblebee, carpenter bees. Carpenter bees are the scariest bees, but they don't hurt you. They never sting. They don't.
What are the really big fat ones that just lay low to the ground?
Those are carpenter bees. If you see them, like they're really huge. The biggest.
Yeah.
They look like inflated bumblebees.
Yes.
But they go for wood, and they will fly at you to scare you away. But they won't ever sting you. They won't. Yeah, they don't hurt you. They're very gentle carpenter bees.
And they burrow in the ground. I didn't know that.
No, that's a whole different. The ground bees are a different bee.
What?
I forget what those are called. Yeah, there are lots of different kind of bees. See, people think that bee is a bee. A bee is not a bee.
A bee would it be though?
To be or not to be, there are carpenter bees, honeybees, bumblebees,
ground bees. So that's what I saw.
I forget what the ground
bee.
bees are called. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's very interesting.
No,
very
knowledgeable. I know about bees because I have allergies to bees. And when I was 5 years old, here you go with another story. When I was 5 years old at Belmont Park, I stepped on a beehive and got a beehive stuck on my leg, and was attacked by thousands. The entire hive was all over me, and they had to take me. They threw me in a lake, and then they had 5 years old, traumatized by getting stung all over your body, and my father rolling me in the mud.
Wow.
Yeah.
Really?
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
I know. Yeah. So I had to learn about bees pretty quick, and then I had lots of stories where I was just like, molested by bees. Yeah, Carl left because it's time for the joke man who's drinking coffee, and he's drinking Koa coffee in the background. We can see that very clearly. You can't see that, can you?
Who's coming up next?
This guy.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh. You call him your gosh? He's Jackie the Joke Man Martin, who will be at Boca Raton this Saturday night. If you know people in Florida, he's going to be
not anymore.
Saturday, May 7th at 7:30 p.m. and the main theater at the 201 West Plaza, wherever this is. Where is this? What's the name? Oh, Milner Park Cultural Center is what it's called.
Meisner.
Anyway.
Meisner Park. I don't know what it is. It's the auditorium. It's not the main building. It's the auditorium.
Right.
But it's a decent sized place. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
Wow.
Hi. I'm so
Hi.
sorry. I'm so sorry. I missed you the other night. I was completely free. I had nothing to do. I was done with my show at 9:30. I'm so old. I completely spaced.
You didn't miss anything. It was probably one of the worst gigs we ever been to.
It was weird, very weird.
If you two were there and you were playing, that's all I needed. It would have been fun. Trust me.
She was excellent. She was and she killed it.
Thanks.
And I'm gonna get the band to do some songs that she did that we don't normally do with her. That were
Really
just phenomenally.
Yeah, right. When pigs fly.
No,
Nobody wants to play my songs. Nobody wants to learn them. Nobody wants to let me sing anything else than the same 6 songs I've been singing for 4 years. That's my rant today.
I want you to sing one of my songs.
Which one? Oh, you told me.
If I sent you a song, would you maybe sing it?
Yeah.
Only if you like it. Only if you like it.
Okay.
I've been trying to get her to record original songs for like 4 years now, and crickets. I've sent you hundreds.
I would. Oh, right. The emails I never.
We'll
I was really busy.
Yeah, we'll have to revisit this off the air. But so Jackie, basically they set us up in this room, which is a dining room, and then there's a bar room behind it. And there were people when we first started eating dinner, and they were appreciating stuff and leaving us tips. But when dinner hour was over, they all left, and we were now in an empty room. The bar room was packed, and although people were enjoying the music, we didn't know it because it was so far from us.
You sent me a picture of a guy doing a handstand on what looked like a lunchroom table, and I said, well, that's not the most packed bar I've ever seen. But I played enough weird things that's right up there with normal. I worked a couple of years ago. I actually met a guy who became a very good friend, and now he's an opening act for me. It was a Jewish center outside of Philadelphia, and I got there, and whatever they had for a sound system didn't work. And it was a bunch of senior citizen Jewish people sitting around these big round tables. And I literally stood on one of the tables and in the middle of the room and held court. And the lady said it was the greatest show they ever had. And
wow.
I got fan letters from this 70-year-old Jewish woman for about 6 months. It was just... You just make do. You do what you got to do. It's Jesus.
Yeah. So just so Kiara knows, if you're going to send her a song to sing, all your songs are dirty, right? You don't have
No, stop it. Of course they're not.
What do you mean?
Oh.
I've never heard. I've heard several of your songs, and they all have some.
You heard the pot song.
Yeah,
which is about a party with pot.
And the parodies and the stuff that was played on Stern, but that...
Oh, those weren't my songs. Those were parody songs that we wrote for the show, and those weren't even that dirty. It was terrestrial radio.
I know.
People have such skewed remembrances. They think we were so dirty. By the time I left, they hadn't gone to Sirius yet. The whole 15 years I was on the show.
Ah.
There was no cursing. There was no dirty. It was all dancing across the line, which was hysterical. We had such a reputation for being so foul, which it certainly was as foul as it could be without,
Yeah, I remember Stern on AM radio talking about, I don't even want to say, but it wasn't cursing, but it was pretty vulgar stuff.
No, he didn't say, back in those days, if you said the word penis, it was like horrendous,
I was taking my mother to the doctor in the 80s.
Well, if your mother was
Howard Stern was on AM radio on 66 AM in New York, and he was talking about ejaculating into a milk carton in his refrigerator, and his wife made a sperm shake. And this was my mother in the car.
Now, see, I was not part of the show yet, but I would remember that. I mean, I would certainly remember the shake.
Yuck. Your poor mother.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So I mean, he definitely crossed the line.
I'm not talking about him. Kiara, you will love my songs are nice. The only problem is that they're too Jackie centric. I got to send you the ones that are, that are generic. But People love them. I have a CD. I finally put out a CD in 2007. You know, I wrote the songs back in the 1970s, but it's a whole long story how it came about. I wound up with one of the greatest guitar players in the world.
Me?
And I wrote this horrible song, and he loved the song. That's the song that's really foul. You know, I'm smoking pot. I got my dick out. That song is, but that is so funny and so perfect. But that's an anomaly to my other.
I played it on.
You'll be amazed.
I played it on.
I'm sure I will.
I played the pot song on one episode, and it got banned from YouTube. It got me locked out for 24 hours.
Really? Wow.
It's just stupid, and even that is a love song. If I'll send it to you. Now, do you have email, Kiara?
Yeah, I have an email.
But you don't look at it?
It was a busy time. It was a busy time when Matt emailed me. Now I got, you know.
She texts
text
a lot more than emails. We communicate.
Yeah.
Text messages.
I guess.
Yeah.
You guys, maybe you guys aren't as close as I think you are.
We're not. We hardly know each other. We see each other when we play gigs, and that's it. And in the morning. By the way, I'm going to be doing a late night show as well as doing this 4 nights a week. I'm going to be doing midnight till 1 a.m. Inspired by that, that dope James Corden who's on the late night show. He follows Colbert.
I don't know a lot. I know he's a great kisser, but aside from that, I don't know.
Yeah, so he's leaving that show, and then all the comedians I know on Twitter all want that job, and I was like, that job is so. Late night television is everybody's still trying to be Johnny Carson, which was your grandfather's television show, and
I never got straight. Why is he leaving?
He's got some movie deal happening or something.
What?
I don't know.
That doesn't make sense.
Yeah, no,
Well,
he's got some movies to be made or something, and won't have time to do the show. That's basically what I got out of it. But I just like, you know what? Late night television sucks so bad. They need to change it up. They need to make it more interesting for young people. And who's more interesting for young people than me? No, that's not
exactly. I was just going to say, you took the words right out of my mouth.
The problem, I agree with you totally. But the problem is, what's interesting to them?
What's interesting is dangerous.
They don't want to drive. They don't want to make out. They don't want to get laid. They don't want to cook. They don't want to have fun.
Yes.
They don't stand at the bar and talk. The people stand at the bar and talking are the 60-year-old Grateful Dead fans,
Yeah.
Well, what's interesting to them is danger.
There's nothing interesting. No, what do you mean danger?
That's why
boring.
I don't know if you know this yet, Jackie, but if you haven't tuned into social media yet today, Dave Chappelle got attacked on the stage of the Hollywood Bowl last night, and
that was my idea. That was a whole ruse. That was a whole ruse just to take the heat off of Will Smith.
Right, but that's what they like. They like danger. They like live. They like unpredictability. They like the knowing something is live and anything could happen at any moment. That's what.
No, they like complaining. They like complaining and whining, and finding anything they can to complain about. People my age, they suck.
You know what it is? They got the whole world. They got the whole world handed to them, and then they complain. When you hand them something else, I can't hold it. I got both my hands full. How can I take any more that everybody's handed me? When I was a kid, I walked 7 miles to school. I'm kidding. But, we all start to sound like our parents. But,
I walked a mile. I did.
Right. Wow. I remember many years ago, my buddy, one of my college roommates, said my kid is 20 years old and all he does is sit in his room in the basement. And that was 20 or 30 years ago. I mean,
wow.
People they don't want to do nothing. I'm just generalizing because I don't know anybody.
I got a 35-year-old who does that, who is in the basement playing video games. He never leaves the house, never leaves the video games. Never. 35 years old.
Listen, along the way, just like with Trump, there were so many places with Trump where you said, well, that's it. He sealed himself off. And it's happened 10 times and nothing's happened yet. There's certain places where you go, well, now I know the world has ended. You know, now I know. One of the times I knew the world was ending, I think I was looking at a picture or a videotape, and I did a triple take. It was like a stadium, an outdoor stadium or an indoor stadium, but not a small, like a stadium, packed shoulder to shoulder with people that paid like $100 a piece. And they're all standing up and they're watching big video screens of other people playing video games. And I said, wait a minute.
What?
They're paying money to stand in a crowded stadium to watch on a screen other people play video games. I said, the world, I can't envision the world getting any stupider than that.
Oh yeah, they're on Twitch.
But you were wrong.
Yeah,
they're on stupider.
They're on Twitch 24/7 watching other people play video games. And people making millions by playing video games and having people watch them play video games. People making millions of dollars doing this.
It makes
I gotta
NASCAR
tell you,
look like a Mensa outing, you know?
Right. I gotta tell you, my daughters, they were going on YouTube watching a grown woman play with dolls and make voices for the dolls. This woman's like a millionaire now. I'm like, what the hell are you doing? Go play with your own dolls. You're gonna watch a grown woman play with her kids. I don't even know if she had kids.
The only time I ever did that was when the principal said, "Does it feel good when he touches you here? Does it feel good when he touches you there?"
See, I told you, he can't do anything without being dirty. Jackie's a very dirty old man.
I'm not. You know, I really don't get, but there's nothing worse than a couple old fogies sitting around and trying to ascertain what the hell they're doing, you know.
Yeah.
It's crazy. It's crazy. You know, and with the way the world's going, what are they coming into? This whole, I am still flabbergasted. When I was in college in like 1966 and 67, 68, pot was almost legal. Abortion was just about legal. You know, all these things, all these problems were solved. I mean, at what point did the country just go in reverse? It's just flabbergasting, you know. Oh my God.
Ralphie keeps asking if it's live. Yes, Ralph, you should see a live button on top of your screen that says we're live. He has to do live a couple of times now. Yes, we're live.
Hey, I was on Governor's Live the other night with two guys.
I know, Mike and Mike, the Hershey and Keegs, right?
Wow, they were the size of a house. They were nice guys. We had fun.
Well, I was watching them last night, and interesting, they were talking about the Kentucky Derby. My friends, I wanted to talk to you about. My friends John and Tom on Dystopia Tonight had Robert Klein on last night. Have you ever had the pleasure of meeting Robert Klein, Jackie?
When I was in the 70s, my band used to play once in a while at a place called My Father's Place, which was a club in Roslyn. It was always weird trying to tell people, yeah, we worked at my father's place. Oh, your father has a place? No, it's the name of it, right? And when I first met Robert Klein, I don't know, he was very, very good friends with Rodney, with Rodney Dangerfield. I forget exactly where, but I ran into him at a party or at some kind of event somewhere, I think before Stern. And I was like, and the guy that owned my father's place was Michael Epstein, who's known as Epi, and the whole world knows him as Epi. And I'm like, wow, this is so cool. I'll meet Robert Klein. You know, we were big fans, you know, Child of the 50s album and everything. And I said, you know what? And I figured, and I walked up to Klein and I said, hey, Robert, Epi says hello. And he looked at me and said, how much do he owe you? And we've been friends ever since. You know. Yeah, he's a decent guy. I mean, I'm not close to him, but we know each other well enough to be a little rude here and there, which is the whole deal, you know.
Yeah, Epi always paid me in full on, but and you know what? The best payday I ever got in my life was working for Epi. I remember one time leaving a gig. It was like early '80s, and I felt like I was a rock star. We sold out my father's place, and for some reason the take was like thousands of dollars more than I was expecting to get. And I was like giddy. I thought I was on my way.
Yeah. The first time you make a lot of money, we worked at Rum Runner in like 1974, and it was like $1 to get in. We had like 400 local people, and the guy handed us 400 $1 bills. We felt like we robbed a bank, man.
Yeah.
Like, wow, this is for playing music and getting drunk and trying to get laid. Not bad, not bad.
Yeah.
But Epi is such a character, and he still remains such a character. I opened up at that place about a month or 2 or 3 ago for do you know the fiddler?
The
What's her
violin
name?
player, yeah, right.
For her Susan Aquila and her boyfriend, and I opened up for them at that place, and it still says my father's place out in front, but he's been long gone from there. Have you worked at? That's a nice little room downstairs there.
We were supposed to play that place right before the pandemic, and then the pandemic hit, and we kind of canceled that.
Right, that screwed everything up. And that's one of the places I worked before the pandemic. I worked there for Epi, and it's not that he doesn't pay you; he just finagles. Like he's supposed to pay the opening act, and then it comes out of your salary, and like. You pick your battles. How much are you going to argue for? You know what I mean? You pay the toll. No, I'll pay the toll. Oh, Jesus,
Yeah. Well, that's bar owner stuff too. I mean, that if you work Long Island bars, that's just it's almost always expected.
No. If you work bars, it's got nothing to do with Long Island. Every bar owners, you like to think the Midwest is nice. There's something about bar owners. Richie Tinkin that owned the comic strip in Manhattan and Fort Lauderdale. He said, "Listen, I'm a club owner, and I know we're all idiots, but I'm the best out of the worst." He used to say, "I'm the best out of the worst," because it's a breed. Like I think they're taught to finagle, and and how tough a business is. It's hard to keep the thing afloat.
But I think we discussed this once before, that you worked for a guy in Fort Lauderdale who was the first guy to provide a comedy condo, right?
Well, that was Richie Tinkin.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Do you know the story of the comedy condo? We talked about that already.
I think so. I have a vague memory of it, but most people don't realize that wasn't always the case, because comedy condos are now kind of like part of a lot of packages, no matter if you're a road dog.
There really weren't road gigs. That's why it hadn't been invented yet, because nobody needed a place to stay, because nobody was going anywhere. There weren't any a comedy club in Los Angeles, and there's comedy clubs in New York, and that was about it, and DC. But what happened was Richie Tinkin had the club in Manhattan, and how that came about was him and a couple of guys had a friend who was a singer, and they wanted him to hang out in New York more, so they bought a club so he'd have a place to sing, and then they made it into a comedy club. A whole long story. And they wound up being Eddie Murphy's first managers.
Wow.
Wow. Richie Tinkin and Bob Wax, he was an entertainment lawyer, and another guy, John, whatever, he's an Irish guy. And Eddie performed a couple times at the comic strip, and Richie Tinkin said to the other two owners, I think I want to manage this kid. I think we should put $5,000 a piece in and see what we can do. And the third guy, what was his name? I don't know his name. He classically said, I ain't putting $5,000 into any blank's career.
Wow.
Wow.
And that he forever lived with that. And then Bob Wax and Richie Tinkin managed Eddie Murphy, and they started the Fort Lauderdale comic strip. And what they did, they went and they actually rented a condominium, like in Fort Lauderdale, like on one of those high rises, a beautiful place, part of a living situation or whatever it was, among human beings. And after 2 or 3 weeks, they got bounced out of their asses because comics are monsters and morons.
And worse than rock
animals.
stars, right? Worse than the Who.
They got tossed out of there. So Tinkin had to buy a duplex. And then him and the other owners would stay in one half of the duplex whenever they're in Florida, and the comics stayed in the other half. but it was facetiously called the condo. And ever since then, even if you stay on a waitress's couch, it's called the comedy condo.
Yeah,
And nobody knows that the genesis of that story, which is so funny.
Yeah.
And the guys that first worked down there, they weren't like low. It was just like you talk about Paul Reiser and Jerry Seinfeld and Glenn Hersher, but they were all.
I can't see anybody.
They were just animals, But
you lost us, Kiera. She lost us. Anyway, well, what?
We can see you.
Yeah, we could see you. Oh, she's gone.
Oh, what'd you do?
She'll be back. She's got to send me a video for her next segment anyway. I don't know what it's about. I think it's a little risque. I think it's her dancing striptease or something.
Wow, I can't wait. I can't wait.
Not gonna happen.
I can't
Not
wait.
gonna happen ever. No, she's a very good girl.
Will you send me her email address?
Yes, I will. I will.
And how dare you? I'm going to send you some of my songs, and you better listen to them.
I will. I definitely will. Now, this is what I wanted to, when we were on that, I wanted to ask you about that. I have a difficult situation when I write songs because I write for me, and giving those to a female singer is sometimes a little tricky to make it. Can your songs be not transposed, but made for a female singer to sing?
I think so. Because I got to look at them. I think without even reworking, like if you're just moaning, let one of my songs is "Let the Rain Fall Down." It's like everybody's standing there watching the rain fall down. And what's funny is my album was recorded here at my house, but it's got literally the world's greatest guitar player on it. So it's like.
I've never been to your house. How can I be on the record that was recorded at your house?
What are you talking about?
You say the world's greatest guitar player. Who? You're not talking about me?
It's just so funny. Why don't you guys come out here? Why don't you grab that beautiful woman and come visit me someday?
I grabbed that beautiful woman and they arrested me. So that's not going to happen again. But no, we would love to come out to Jokeland sometime. But so who is this greatest guitar player? If it's not me, is Joe Satriani? No, Steve
Frank. Well, he taught those guys. Frank Vignola.
Oh, I know Frank. Yeah, Frank is. He's up there definitely with the Tommy Emmanuels and people like that. Great jazz player. Great player. Wow.
When I met him, he was Les Paul's lead guitar player.
Right.
Which is like being Dolly Parton's boob stand-in. You know what I mean? It's like... And he's the greatest guy. He's the greatest guy. We had so much fun,
Wow. And so he played on all the entire CD?
Yeah, that's him playing guitar on that song, I'm Smoking.
I thought, and I was going to compliment you on that great guitar work. I actually was. I was going to say that because I assumed it was you playing it. So
and it's funny. I always wonder if I should say, "Here's my record," but that's not me playing guitar on most of the things,
Yeah.
But they're my songs. Is that me? Hold on.
It's what you? No, it might have been you, but no.
Oh, no.
Kiera just texted me a video that's going to be part of her next segment. I'm going to bring him back in and let her introduce the segment. Let's play some of her happy music. Here we go. This is Jackie playing guitar on this. Jackie and Frank just jamming along. Not really. Oh, I didn't know. I didn't let her in. There she is.
What are you
Let
doing?
me in.
I'm high. There you
go.
go.
My alarm goes off at 10:20 to let me know I got to go back on.
Yeah.
And it goes on my phone, and then I can't hear you guys. I don't know what happens. I don't know how to stop that.
Oh, that's what happened.
Yeah.
Okay.
If I get a phone call or something when I'm in the middle of doing this, I'm out. Luckily, I'm on my iPad, so
Yeah. Well, if I get a phone call during this, I will put them on the air and embarrass them, whoever it is.
It's probably the robot telling you, car's extended warranty, or you're going to jail because
I get a lot of that. I get IRS scams. If I get another IRS scam, I'm going to put them online in this.
And you can't even mess with them anymore. We used to fart in the phone and stuff when the telemarketers called, or we'd pretend we were Chinese or something. Now it's all robots. You can't mess with it. You just got to hang up.
And
Yeah, the game's over.
Game's over. They got smart because we'd be like, and we'd hang up.
And you can't prank people anymore because I would definitely prank people to fill up some content on the show. I would call them, but with everybody's got caller ID. Nobody's going to pick up a number they don't recognize anymore. Like, oh, I don't recognize that number. I'm not picking it up.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I don't have good caller ID on my home phone. So if the phone rings and I answer it, if those maniacs from whatever collection agencies or whatever they're trying to sell you, they keep a list of, if you just answer the phone, you go into a separate category. Yep. These are people that's the first step to getting to you is getting you to answer the phone.
I tell them all the time, don't answer. Why are you answering? But
because it could be Hollywood. Tell them, Matt. We've been waiting a long time.
It definitely is Hollywood.
If it's Hollywood, I'm scared.
It's serial people calling to tell me I curse too much for them to be sponsors on the show.
Oh man,
that's a problem. Very depressing. I was ready to slip my wrist last night on that.
Oh my!
What happened?
I've been working on a sponsorship for Kiera's segment of the show for 2.5 months now, and back and forth every week with them. Well, we're still making a decision. Last night they got back to me and said, we've reviewed it. There's just too much profanity on your show. I was like, it's not for the whole show. It's just for her segment. She doesn't curse at all. Well, sorry, it's not family friendly enough. There's too much profanity. Well, that's me.
Do they know that this is 2022 and that's kind of what happens nowadays?
Yeah, but I guess they're a kiddie cereal. Well, not necessarily kiddie cereal. They're a healthy cereal, but they're appealing to families.
If it's healthy cereal, it ain't kiddie cereal because kiddies ain't eating no healthy cereal.
Right.
Can you still hear and see me? Because I just got a phone call.
Yes, I could still hear and see you.
Oh.
You can't hear us?
Huh?
Oh, that was Jackie calling. No, he just sent me his song, but not it, and I will forward it to you, but not right now.
Oh.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me, Kiera? No.
Yeah, I can. I'm bad at that.
You're fucking with me now. I just blew another cereal commercial.
Damn.
You want to talk about this video you sent me?
Which one? Because I sent you two. Oh, the guy with.
I just gotta jump in and say how boring it is working with professionals.
I think he only sent me one, unless I missed one. I got a high wire guy. Oh, Halloween baddie, Michael. Oh,
that made me laugh. But you got to see the pictures, otherwise it's not funny.
All right,
Pick one.
Pictures. Nothing happens with these pictures. There's dots that I should advance the picture. Oh, here you go. No, this is just a home, right? Oh, yeah. Okay.
Wait, I got to read it then. Hold on. Let me read it.
All right. Yeah, let me.
The crap out
I
of me
just didn't know which one you want me to show. So you want me to show the Michael Myers thing? Or is that what it is?
I guess. Yeah, make people laugh. So
all right.
This article is from wavy.com. The caption reads, Halloween baddie Michael Myers appears in home listing photos.
Okay.
So, watch these. A seller's market is spurring homeowners to get creative when listing their houses. In Illinois, how do you say this? Macoupin County. A woman's love of all things horror helped spark an idea to showcase her family's home online for potential buyers. Diane had her son, Cole, dress up as Halloween slasher Mike Myers and pose for photos around their house and put it on. It's funny. And
that's
try
Carl.
and sell their home that way. Yeah. Hey, Carl, is that you? The last photo scared me because I wasn't prepared. But yeah, they got him in the closet over there.
Oh, in the shower. So yeah, so is this actually a selling point? Does it actually work? No, nobody's gonna buy this house just because they put some dude in a friggin' mask in the pictures.
Or else we're gonna say we thought it came with a haunted guy, and if he's not part of it, I don't want it,
Right.
I don't know. The last one. That's the last one. There's nothing.
They should have had him standing in the field or something.
Yeah, he's outstanding in his field. Well, that's a terrible little happy news.
I can't believe I was gonna say that. I can't believe you said that, and I was going to say that.
That's terrible. What a terrible morning happy news that was. That was a rotten happy news. You're
made
fired.
me laugh. I'm sorry.
No, I think that's you know what? I think that's pretty ineffective. I'm sure she's never going to sell that house. People are just going to say, "I'm not buying a house from that stupid lady." It's not haunted or anything, but yeah, it's just stupid. I'm not buying that house now.
Whatever.
All right.
Whatever.
So, did you want to show the guy walking the high wire guy or not?
Why not?
Okay.
I'll try that one.
Let me
right.
share that.
It's
This
from
better be
UPI.
better than that last story, or the Sirius company is pulling out.
They already pulled out.
They already pulled out.
I'll read the title. The Daredevil walks slack line between two hot air balloons and breaks world record. A Brazilian. Oh, it's Carl again.
It is Carl.
A Brazilian daredevil broke a Guinness World Record when he crossed the slack line.
Oh, I just lost you. We lost Kiara again. What happened? Anyway, I would never do this. I would never do this. Not in a million years. There she is. What happened? What happened with you? You've disappeared again.
I don't know. I got a voicemail. These people are trying. What was that? Oh, let me see. Let me see it again.
You don't want it from the start. This guy's just walking between balloons now. That's scary as shit for me. I would. That's amazing.
Is that a joke or is that real?
That's real.
That's real.
Now, what if he falls? Who's there to catch him?
I don't know, but it's scary as hell, man. Very, I'm gonna have nightmares just thinking about that.
Some of these kids won't come out of the basement, and the ones that do come out of the basement are walking between balloons on a tightrope.
Yeah,
there got to be some kind of happy medium somewhere, you know.
Yeah, it's hard to predict what young people are going to be into these days. But is there a way to monetize that? I mean, how does that guy get paid for that? He doesn't. I mean, just puts it on YouTube and hopes for 1 million views.
YouTube views, yeah, get paid.
Yeah, I've had millions of views on YouTube. 1 million views gets you like $700 or something like that. It's really.
I thought it was $2,000 every million views.
It's like 700, a little less than 700 for.
Hey, I want to plug my TikTok, but
yeah, plug your TikTok. I got it here.
You don't make money with that anyway, right? You make.
Right.
Let me tell the people who aren't watching. TikTok, it's TikTok. It took me a long time to figure out how to spell that. TikTok.com/@Jackie
Right. And I wanted to play one of the people. I've been doing this to promote your gigs, like, but there was one that what happened to the woman with the wine? I lost that one. What if you asked for it? There was a one I wanted to play this morning was the woman with the wine. Do you know that one, Jackie? You know the one I'm talking about.
Yeah, of course.
Tell that joke. They don't have. Oh, here it is. The codependency. Can I play this? Yeah.
Yeah. The wife is sitting on the deck. The wife's sitting on the deck drinking a glass of wine. Husband goes out with newspaper. Sits down, starts to read. She says, "I love you. I love you so much. I don't think I can make it through a day without you." He puts down newspapers. Is that you talking or is that the wine talking? It's me talking to the wine.
Anyway, you get laughs like that, one at a time, short and quick, and to the point. What? We just lost Kiara again. Oh, well.
She didn't like the joke.
She didn't like that joke. It's the wine talking. She's a wine drinker, you know. Anyway, so that's your TikTok. It's TikTok @JackieMartling.
TikTok.com/@JackieMartling. Now, does anybody get paid for those?
I don't know. I haven't figured out.
Somebody told me you got to be up in the multi-millions.
Yeah, you got to get in the partnership program, and I think it starts at. I think you have to average 10,000 per video. She's back again. She keeps cutting out on us. She's like,
I think every time you play a video, you hit my button. That's what I think.
I think
you're cutting me out.
Matt, I think I got a thing saying, do you want to sign up for our partnership program? I think I probably thought it was a goof.
Oh no, that's what you have to do if you want to get monetized on there.
One of my videos got 652,000 hits.
Now,
Wow.
was that just as a quick joke like that one? And what?
Yeah, same exact deal. You know.
Well, that was a little different because most of them are produced by your video guy who comes to your house and basically get that shot that we're looking at right now as you shoot talking to the camera. But
or else it's just me doing it into the iPad. Yeah, there's no production. That just happened to be a joke I had a cartoon of from a million years ago.
Right, and you were at Governors doing the stand-up there. I could see the Governors behind you. The original.
Yeah, well, it was the brokerage, but with the Governor's sign behind it.
Gotcha. How did your Saturday night go at brokerage?
It was it was really, really great. But I had a comment, but I just realized we're on Governor's Radio, so I don't want to say anything about it. But nothing negative about me. Me and Bales had a great time, and we destroyed the place.
Well, I was curious because a friend who has been on this program, Rob White, was scheduled to go on at the brokerage at 9:30, which was, I think, after your show. And then it was a late cancellation with no kind of explanation on it. We just saw like you can't show's canceled. The show is going on, but I'm not part of it. And I was just like, curious.
They canceled him.
Yeah.
Because they had too much, yeah, that's what I want to talk to you about that, but that's a whole long thing.
Yeah, late cancellation. It bothered me because, and another comic that I had a very late cancellation on Sunday night. And it's just like, I'm not a big fan of these knocking people off bills, like late notice stuff like that.
Even the same week.
Yeah.
I have a guy who's probably still mad at me. Oh, this is such a weird story. The original Pot song that they played on the Stern Show all the time. At the end of the Pot song, we used to play "Merrily We Roll Along." The end of the Pot song was "Roll up the reefer, we'll have some illegal fun." And at the very end, we go, and the crowd would go berserk. And in the end, my buddy goes, blah, blah, blah. That's all, folks. So we made that record, the Pot song. Okay. Cut to 20 years before that, I was booking Governor's Comedy Shop. It was my job. We opened the club and we had 4 comics a weekend. So I had to book 4 comics and nobody had any work back there. It was a big deal to get a weekend. It was a big deal. And all of a sudden, after like a month or 2 months or 3 months, the owner said, listen, we don't want to pay 4 comics every weekend. We want to pay 3. And I, of course, had everybody booked up months in advance. So I had to painstakingly cancel one person from each weekend. But this is like a month in advance. And one weekend, I had 2 guys that played guitar in their act. And I had to cancel one of them. I mean, every weekend I had to call them up and I told them, listen, I got to cancel you. They're cutting me from 4 comics to 3. And the guy went off on me. I'm like, listen, I got 2 guitar playing comics. And one of them, how do you say? The other one's a much closer friend of mine.
I would have just said I had to flip a coin.
But whatever. But at any rate, I had no choice. But it was with plenty of lead time. It turns out that this guy is related to Eddie Cantor. Not only that, he's related to a very good friend of mine who Eddie Cantor is his great-grandfather. And this guy winds up working for Warner Chappell. And I'm at the Stern Show, and we started selling this CD called Off Our Rockers Holiday Special, which had 1 Christmas song in it recorded by my wife. And the rest of them were just stupid songs recorded like at my father's place, live, terrible recordings. And one of the songs on there was the Pot song. And everybody just assumed if I'm promoting that on the Howard Stern Show, I'm selling millions of these things. I think we sold 12. I got a cease and desist letter from Warner Chappell because I was using their copyright of Eddie Cantor wrote that song, Merrily We Roll Along. And it was a Warner. We had to go back in and we had to re-edit the CD with that taken out. And 2 months later, I meet this guy, Lee Newman. And he said, that's my grandfather's song. Of course you could have used it. I said, what the hell were you to? And the guy's name was Brian Gary, Gari. And his whole family hates him, and he's a real dick. And I'm sure he's still mad at me 40 years later.
Is he still alive?
I hope not. And then you talk about somebody getting a phone call saying, are you getting your car to come to work? Well, don't. You know, you can't do that to people, you know.
Yeah, no, you can't hold grudges against that too. And shit happens in show business. Sometimes you get bumped. It happens. I mean, if everybody who ever got bumped carried a grudge for years, everybody'd be carrying a grudge for somebody. Eh?
Did I ever tell you the story of? I don't think I told you this. In the very, very beginning, there were the lines of demarcation hadn't been drawn yet. You know, like there were people who went to work at the Richmond Comedy Club in 1979, and they decided, you know what, we're going to do 3 shows on Saturday night because we've got so many people coming out. And the comics said, well, we get more money. And they were like, no, you don't. Because to them, they were like indentured there for the week.
Yeah, well, indentured servants, yeah.
Which is crazy. So we got picked up at the Improv, me and Paul Reiser and Joe Bolster, to go do a show on a Sunday night at this bowling alley. And we went with this guy, Jim Balatzos, who was the guy who first brought Sam Kinison out to New York. You know, he's still around, this guy. You know, he always had a bottle of vodka under his seat and his wife, and they would drink it. And it was a whole free-for-all. So he picks us up, and we pull into this bowling alley. And he gets out, and I'm in the back seat with Reiser and Bolster. And he goes up to the door, and it's closed. The bowling alley is closed. And he comes out and gets in the car, and he goes, oh, well, he's up there. And it was obvious it was closed. I said to the guys, I said, you know, we get paid anyway, right? And they said, what are you talking about? I said, we're here. We did our job. He's the producer. He hired us. We're in the car, ready to do our job. We get paid. And they said, Reiser's like, you do the talking. You talk to him about this, you know. So he gets back in the car and he says, sorry, guys, it really sucks. I said, well, we get paid anyway. He said, what are you talking about? We're here ready to do our job. You know, we wouldn't have got extra money if they did extra, you know, we get paid. Yeah. And he begrudgingly paid us. And that was like the line in the sand. It was like, no, if you're there ready to do the gig, if it gets canceled, that's on the producer. That's one of the pitfalls of it. And I'll remember Paul Reiser saying to me, you're very good at this. You're very good at this, you know. But that was a big deal because, a lot of guys, if you didn't speak up, it would have been just like, oh, yeah, place is closed. I guess we just don't get paid. Of course you get paid. But you don't get what you deserve. You get what you negotiate. You know that.
Yeah. For some reason, you made Paul Reiser sound like Jackie Mason. Like,
I just reached into my Jew pile.
He grabbed the wrong Jew.
Nah. Do you know the 2 Jewish guys on the Titanic?
No. What about the 2 Jewish guys on the Titanic?
The Titanic starts to sink. And the first Jewish guy starts to cry. And the other Jewish guy says, why are you crying? It's not your boat.
It's not your boat.
Wow.
And with
it's not your boat.
All right. With that, it's time to say goodbye to governors. We're letting the governors people go because the Tony Walker Knock 'em Dead show starts in 15 minutes. Why he needs 15 minutes to switch over, I don't know, but we're going to let the governors people go. Great seeing you people on Governors. Join us again tomorrow. We're still live on YouTube and MindDog TV. And
Twitch. And if you stay on for Tony's show, do me a favor. Ask him how the hell him and Sally could possibly be mad at me.
Yeah.
I did the Ghost Guys show the other night, and Sally said they're mad at me because I'm doing my podcast somewhere. And they said, we gave you the idea. And I'm like, you gave me the idea for me to go on radio and tell my stories?
Yeah.
What do you want? Your mind? You know,
podcasting. I mean, come on. It's not like they invented podcasting. Listen, Tony, don't be mad at Jackie. It's impossible to be mad at Jackie. Don't be mad at Jackie.
Yeah, no, Sally was upset, and I was pissed off. I was like, I mean, you guys were good to me, but how dare you? You know,
Yeah.
like that was